Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
The on and off showers we began the week with back on. We've been seeing the strings of storms coming up from the southeast, bringing more rain following a wet weekend for a lot of the viewing area. Let's check in with Adam Caskey, who's tracking what's happening right now.
Yeah, and currently the heavy rain is far west of San Antonio and southwest of town as well. We've got one little shower that's trying to work its way into southern Bexar County at the moment. Really not a whole lot around San Antonio to really spot. So we're going to switch radar sites and go off to the west. That's where we have the heaviest rain crossing Highway 90 and dissipating a little bit too as it heads northward toward Medina Lake. But look at this new development. New development right near Medina Lake, and this just popped up over the past 15 minutes. And that's the nature of these. They're really just drifting northward, raining themselves out, and then redeveloping elsewhere, raining themselves out, redeveloping. There isn't really a clear motion to these, and that's because of the very unique steering flow that we have in our upper levels at the moment. But Pearsall getting some heavy rainfall as well. A little bit of lightning and thunder, but not as much anymore compared to what we had earlier today. This is the heaviest of the rain. Nothing serious, nothing damaging here, just some soaking rain to put another dent in the drought. And speaking of drought, coming up in a little bit, I'll show you the drought monitor and then overlay the 7-day rainfall totals and see where we picked up the most rain and how much where we need it. Anyway, this is where the shower activity is now as we go through the rest of the evening. These showers are likely going to be dwindling and really raining themselves out and fading away once we lose our daytime heating. So notice those storm chances at 40%, and that's mainly west of San Antonio at 7 o'clock. And then by 10 o'clock, we're down to 20%, midnight, 10%. A few more opportunities for rain before we get a lot of sunshine and some warmer temperatures. We'll break that all down for you in a little bit.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Adam. New at 6, a major shakeup within the San Antonio Police Department.
Citing the need to be more proactive in how it investigates property crimes, SAPD this summer will centralize that unit, moving more than 50 detectives, half a dozen sergeants to its academic court location, which is south of downtown.
But as KSAT investigates, Dylan Collier found not everyone within that department is on board with the change.
We realized that we weren't being efficient and effective right now.
Which is why San Antonio Police Assistant Chief Karen Falks says a major overhaul is now in the works. Property crimes detectives and supervisors currently assigned to the department's 6 substations will all be reassigned to academic court and rebranded as the Property Crimes Task Force, possibly as soon as next month. The goal? To improve communication among investigators and to better identify thieves who are hitting different parts of town.
What we're doing today is we're sitting back, waiting for those crimes to happen, and they're getting reported to us, and then we go out and investigate. The plan now is to be in front of it before it occurs.
But the intelligence-driven, offender-focused approach has drawn criticism. Detectives who spoke with KSAT questioned whether academic court has room for another centralized unit. Some rank and file have also told KSAT crime victims living in the outer parts of San Antonio will now have to travel long distances for follow-up reports or to retrieve their property. Falks says to address this, a few detectives will move about the city, getting paperwork signed or even returning stolen belongings.
We understand that that's a drive for some folks, and it may be inconvenient, but we're going to make this as convenient and as efficient for the community as we possibly can.
Falks added that facilities maintenance will knock down walls if they have to in order to make more room. The new unit will cover 20 hours a day, a 10-hour shift during the day and a 10-hour shift at night. And SAPD will nearly triple the number of detectives who work weekends. For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
The trial for a San Antonio woman accused of killing a man while driving drunk begins this week in Kendall County. 23-year-old Kendall Batchelor is facing a felony charge of intoxication manslaughter. According to authorities, last June, Batchelor was driving the wrong way on State Highway 46 just outside of Boerne. That's when she hit a car head on. That car was being driven by 49-year-old David Belter. That crash killed him. Opening statements were held today and testimony will begin tomorrow.
New at 6 o'clock today, the deadline and the Bexar County Appraisal District is now closed. So taxpayers wanting to protest their property values, you've got 2 options left. Although we've heard from some who've had problems, they can go online or they can make sure their paperwork is postmarked by midnight. Otherwise, no extensions. Jesse DeGriato says with property values skyrocketing, taxpayers doing what they can to lower those tax bills.
Taxpayers jammed the Bear Appraisal District before closing time, protests in hand. Some who had doubts their protest had gone through online showed up in person. And if they tried to call ahead of time,
some of my staff tried to call and there was a disruption in the phones.
Tax Assessor Collector Albert Ureste says it's not surprising that the appraisal district has been deluged with taxpayers protesting their higher property values. He says of the 738,000 tax statements his office sent out, 670,000 later got notices from the appraisal district their values had increased.
That shows you pretty much everybody's property value increased.
Dashe Hammond says even though she protests yearly,
they took it down to 115. So they sent it back up to 170,000 again this year.
Maria Leal came to drop off protests being filed by neighbors who are on fixed incomes.
It's really hard for them to be able to keep up with, with those taxes.
No doubt taxpayers are struggling, says Ureste.
Many homes have gone up 200,000. We've had even some properties that have gone up over $1 million or $2 million in values.
Which is why taxpayers are urged to file protests and take advantage of exemptions.
Especially the homestead exemption and the 65 and over or disabled exemption.
Despite what's involved in filing a protest, Ureste says taxpayers stand a good chance.
According to the appraisal district, over 80% of the people that file a protest get some kind of reduction.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
New at 6, tackling the mounting military suicide rates is a massive task, but a network of nationwide providers agrees that part of it has to do with traumatic brain injuries. An Army veteran tells Courtney Friedman a stronger collaborative effort is forming to examine how those injuries can cause or exacerbate mental illness.
Mark Riddick served the U.S. Army for 21 years as a combat medic and healthcare administrator.
I went to Iraq, Afghanistan, Kosovo, South Korea, all over the place.
In his many years of training and service, he had quite a few bumps or blows to the head.
I've been rappelling or I've done airborne operations and I've hit the ground and I come to and I shake a little bit and I feel a little woozy, I feel a little dizzy. I'm out of sorts for the next couple of hours or a day or so. And a lot of us will just shake it off.
But studies are showing blows to the head, whether severe or minor, can cause traumatic brain injuries that lead to mental and behavioral issues.
I've experienced things myself from, short temper, impulse control, feelings of hopelessness or despair. I've experienced a range of emotions that to me came out of nowhere.
The link between traumatic brain injuries and suicide was a key topic at a mental health summit this month for Endeavors, the largest veteran services provider in Texas, covering 111 counties.
They spoke at depth and in detail about diagnosing traumatic brain injuries, doing brain scans, even though you may not think it's indicated.
Riddick is now the deputy chief of behavioral health at Endeavors and is urging providers to order brain scans for mental health patients. The collective focus also on preventing those head blows in the first place.
When you're doing certain operations, you should wear a helmet. Not necessarily taking unrequired blows to the head because of training that you're doing.
And reaching out to the Endeavors Veterans Wellness Center of San Antonio for an array of help. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
If you are struggling with suicidal thoughts or mental health problems, you can always call the 988 Lifeline. For veterans in need, reach out to Endeavors at 210-431-6466.
Check out traffic right now. It's going to go to a usual traffic trouble spot, 410 in McCullough. Not so right now. You can see traffic moving very smoothly in both directions, even up on the entrance ramps and exit ramps up there. Well, there is no agreement between state and federal lawmakers on the status of a migrant surge or no surge along the U.S. southern border. But the thing both major political parties appear to agree on at the end of Title 42, the need for federal immigration reform now. But will it happen? Laura Aguirre has the latest on what states are doing to get federal funding and some action.
It was a quiet start to the week at many U.S. border entry points. The massive migrant crowds of last week, nearly non-existent after the end of Title 42 restrictions.
The United States Border Patrol has experienced a 50% drop in the number of encounters versus what we were experiencing earlier in the week. before Title 42 ended.
Homeland Security comparing 10,000 migrant encounters a day before Title 42 ended, with just 4,200 arrivals on Saturday. Not everyone agrees that a surge has been averted.
They can't predict the peak. CBP said 40% increase is expected with Title 42 gone. That's another 9 million people in 2 years.
A judge's ruling last week temporarily blocked the government's release of most migrants into the U.S. before they have their court date, a move that's stretching resources in several host cities.
We do see that the Border Patrol is full, but we are prepared. We're ready to move forward.
We have finite resources, and we are indeed stressed here in Denver.
The Biden administration is expected to appeal the no-release ruling as some cities join forces to get a sit-down in the Oval Office.
5 of us mayors, including Mayor Adams of New York, D.C., Chicago, and Denver, have joined together in a letter to the White House that arrives today requesting a meeting with the president.
The federal government should get all the border mayors in one room so we can all be on the same page. This is not a Democrat or Republican problem. This is an American problem.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Take a live look outside with Live Cam. Coming up, Adam Caskey to talk a little bit about funnel clouds, including one that was seen over Dilley today. He'll give us the latest on that coming up.
Today in a new KSAT Explains, we're introducing you to this man.
You don't have to die. Even if you're using, you don't have to die.
This is Hector Castro. His life has been saved by Narcan, the medication that reverses an opioid overdose. You've heard a lot about it because of the rise in fentanyl use. But how exactly does it work? Today in KSAT Explains what Narcan does to the body, how long it takes to work, and what happens to someone after they're given Narcan. That's coming up in our next half hour at 6:30.
I'm Stefania Jimenez. Here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Nightbeat. This wasn't your average traffic stop. Police pulled a woman over because officers said that her car was coming up as stolen. Tonight, what that woman had to go through, all because someone had switched her license plates. Also, many are on edge in Uvalde as we get closer to the one year since the shooting at Robb Elementary. The school board is holding its final meeting before that date tonight. What the district is doing to calm parents' nerves. Those stories and more tonight on the Nightbeat.
Thanks, Stefania. Today is the Alamodome's birthday. The facility opened in San Antonio on this day back in 1993.
And the driving force to get the Alamodome built was former Mayor Henry Cisneros. He sat down with our RJ Marquez to reflect on 30 years of memories at the Dome and what it took to get San Antonio to buy into the project.
It was a classic go for broke campaign.
The Alamodome has stood on San Antonio's east side for 30 years, but years ago, Henry Cisneros' dream almost did not become a reality.
When we started the campaign, the Dome was opposed by 70% of the people and supported by 30%. On election night, it passed by 51% with 49% opposed.
The city was deeply divided over the issue, but Cisneros, who was the former mayor at the time, put his political weight behind the project and his chips on the table.
And frankly, my own reputation was riding on it. You take a risk like this, you take a hit, and all of a sudden your stature starts to fall.
3 decades later, the Alamodome has hosted countless sporting events, concerts, and conventions.
This is where the Spurs won their first championship. This is where we've had NCAA Final Fours multiple times. We would have missed all of that. And I don't know when it might have happened again.
The Alamodome accomplished many of its goals, giving San Antonio the facility it needed to compete for large events, but the NFL ultimately never came.
We came very close to keeping the Saints, but the NFL felt like they couldn't kick New Orleans while they were down.
Cisneros believes that to this day, the Dome was a big bet that paid off despite the risk.
Don't build it, and you'll never have a prayer. That I knew, and that is true. And we got in the hunt, and we've been close several times. But as I say, I think the Dome is a success without NFL football.
And he reflects on that fateful election in 1989 and can't imagine San Antonio without the Alamodome.
I can't imagine anyone seriously saying, we made a mistake, we shouldn't have built it, because so many things have happened that wouldn't have been possible otherwise.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's turn to the weather now. And we mentioned this a little bit earlier. A funnel cloud, Adam, raising a lot of questions for folks who saw this in Dilley.
Yeah, down near Dilley, we had this funnel cloud that dropped down from one of the thunderstorms there. And this is what we consider a tropical funnel, not really a dangerous funnel. Typically doesn't even turn into a tornado. They just stay suspended. They're very small and very short-lived, but it of course looks very ominous. But we see these in these tropical air masses when we have really light wind here at the ground, higher wind up above us. It creates a little bit of wind shear and a little bit of tube of spinning wind, and then that gets elongated very briefly vertically and then dissipates. In the rare event that one of these would touch down, it would likely be a wind gust that would be sub-severe level. So yeah, ominous and intimidating, but good to know. Nothing dangerous around Dilley. And notice that activity has really come to an end down around Dilley. I mean, there's some shower activity elsewhere, and now it's generally to the west of 281. Locally, I want to point out, nothing around San Antonio. Just a few areas of light rain possible here that are pushing south to north through downtown. That's it. Nothing of substance. You go farther west of town, and that's where we actually have some shower activity. Gillespie County, Fredericksburg, an elongated area of heavy rainfall. Good drought denting rain this is. And then down to the south, we get into Bandera County, Medina Lake Reservoir. This will help give it a little splash of water, not a whole lot to this, and it's short-lived, but a little bit of lightning associated with that. You see that recent strike there over the past 15 minutes near Bandera Falls. And then even farther to the south, we'll switch over the radar sites to get a better, more accurate, higher resolution view of this. And very wide area here of light rain with embedded downpours as well. And I mentioned Dilley, your activity is really coming to an end after that tropical funnel. Go down to Cotulla. The rain has come to an end, but overall this has been some good rain and some soaking rain here. Let's take a look at some of the rainfall totals just over the past 12 hours. And look at this area along and west of I-35 from roughly Castroville and Hondo all the way down to Pearsall and Dilley. The yellow, just as a benchmark here, the yellow on this map indicates a minimum of 2 inches, but we have some pockets of 3 inches as well. So that was a good heavy soaking rain shower and even a few near Campbellton. And I heard from one of our viewers in McCoy in southeastern Atascosa County, and she actually has had a few inches of rain over the past few days. All right, take a look at this. This is our drought monitor. It will be updated on Thursday. So this does not take into account the recent rainfall that we had over the weekend or what we had today. The red and dark red color indicate the extreme and exceptional drought. We've shown you this map quite a bit. It has improved. However, what I'm going to do is isolate just this worst part of drought and outline it in white. And now we're going to fade on the rainfall estimates over the past 7 days. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Yeah, baby, that's right. Putting a big old dent in that drought. It's like we're just punching it right there. So it's good. Now, this is that area that really needs it. The red is a minimum 4 inches of rain. When you see the red, it's a minimum of 4 inches of rain. The yellow, same thing, minimum 2 inches of rain. So this is nice to see. Even 6-7 inches estimated by the radar around Hondo. We like to see that. Our weather pattern's quieting down a bit. 30% chance tomorrow. That's in the afternoon, some isolated pop-ups. And then this weekend, we'll get into a 20% chance. And that's about it for now. Temperature-wise, 70s for the most part, 78 in San Antonio. That's after a high of 81. Hondo down to 69 with the area rain. Rio Medina at 70 and Bulverde 80 degrees. 67 in the morning tomorrow. Make it to 83 in the afternoon. Mainly cloudy, but there will be some periods of sunshine, kind of like what we had today with that 30% chance later on. Comfort tomorrow, 81. Nixon, 83. Divine will top out at 82 degrees. Then with the sunshine, the lack of storm chances, a lot of sunshine by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In turn, high temperatures right back near 90 degrees at that point. And then this weekend, in the lower 80s.
I love that drought outline. That was really cool to see.
Oh, good. Yeah, it took a little while to assemble that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Thursday, the new drought monitor.
Yeah, we'll see the change. Thanks, Adam.
I see you've been working on your uppercut, too, a little bit. Yeah. All right, the Texans, they pulled off the draft day surprise. Now they're getting these guys in camp.
Yeah, and they moved up to get Will Anderson Jr., a linebacker out of Alabama, who can really get after the quarterback. He's going to change positions, but actually still do the same thing. He's going to rush the QB. Plus, Antonian softball is one step closer to going back-to-back. Coming up. Spurs guard Trey Jones is one of 5 finalists for the 2022-23 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion Award. He's one of 5 along with Steph Curry, Jaren Jackson Jr., Chris Paul, and Grant Williams. The 5 players represent the year's most impactful social justice advocates who are continuing NBA players' long tradition of activism. The annual award recognizes a current NBA player for pursuing social justice and advancing Kareem's life mission to engage, empower, and drive equality for individuals and groups who have been historically marginalized or systematically disadvantaged. Led by shirtless LeBron James, the LA Lakers held practice at the Ball Arena in Denver today ahead of the Western Conference Finals tomorrow night. The Lakers grabbed the 7th seed in the West after winning a play-in game, while Denver won the 1st seed with a regular season record of 53-29. LeBron and Anthony Davis are now 6-1 in playoff series, and it all boils down to one thing.
It's just health. It's all boiled down to health with myself and AD in this franchise since we joined each other 5 years ago, or was it 5, 6, 4 years ago? 4 years ago. So it's always come down to health.
Yes, I mean AD is first of all he's talented defensively, really talented, and they're looking for him. He can score on any kind of basket, rolling, short roll, mid-range, post-up, face-up. So he's a really good offensive player, and on defensive end, he's really, he's athletic. He can block shots. He's leading the playoffs in the blocks, deflection with quick hands. So he's really good defender. So we will see how it's going to be.
Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is tomorrow night, 7:30 in Denver.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Houston Texans' 3rd overall draft pick, Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama, will be making a switch this coming season for Houston. The linebacker will be moving to defensive end. It's something similar that happened to Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans when he made it to the NFL back in 2006. He's confident Anderson will be able to make the transition fairly easily, and Anderson is excited to do whatever it takes to be successful for the team that drafted him.
Yeah, just being in Alabama, they kind of prepared us for a little bit of everything, hand in the dirt, and, playing a 2-point stand. So it just kind of made me versatile. But, I'm very excited. However they want to use me, it's just going to be, anything I've kind of did at Alabama. So I'm super excited. But, just to do anything they need me for the team.
And the Texans' OTAs will begin Monday, May 22nd at the Methodist Training Center. Congratulations to the Antonian Prep softball team. They're heading to the TAP 6A Division I state final after beating Nolan Catholic 11-5 today in the Class 6A state semifinals. Antonian is looking to defend their state championship. We caught up with the team yesterday before they left town for UT Arlington.
The goal is to win for the 2nd time, to defend our state championship, and just bring it our all.
It would mean so much, softball is a really big thing in this school, and going back-to-back would just be amazing, and I really think it would be really good.
Antonian will play the winner of St. Agnes John Paul II tomorrow morning at 10:30 at UT Arlington.
Of course, we'll have the results.
Good luck.
We will.
Yeah.
Good luck for them.
Thank you, Larry.
Coming up next, KSAT explains Narcan, exactly how this medication works to reverse an opioid overdose, and what happens then. Next.
We've heard a lot about Narcan with the rise in fentanyl use over the last year. It's a medication that can reverse an opioid overdose in just minutes.
But it's actually been around for decades. In this KSAT Explains, we tell you how this drug works, what it does to the body. And we start by introducing a man whose life has been saved by Narcan twice.
I was doing a whole syringe of fentanyl while other people are overdosing on 10 units, 20 units. I'm using 80, 90, 100 units of fentanyl.
Hector Castro has witnessed what Narcan can do.
They're going to be sweaty. They're going to start turning a different color, pale.
You've had to use Narcan before?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
Ooh, I would say about 500 times.
500 times?
Yes, ma'am.
That's how many times Hector estimates he has given Narcan to someone else to save their life. He is now in recovery, clean for 4 months.
These are cotton swabs.
And working with Corazon Ministries to help others struggling with addiction, including telling people about Narcan. Twice, Hector's own life has been saved by the drug.
I never fixed alone. I always made sure that I was with somebody. And I made them know that I have Narcan in my bag. It's in this pocket. So if I need it or somebody else needs it and I can't get to it, you know where it's at.
And that may be confusing to some people. If you know you're going out to get a fix, you're doing something that is harmful to your body.
Yes.
But you've taken a step to have Narcan available because you don't want to die doing that harmful thing.
Yes. Addiction is it's a disease.
So much so that some addicts brought back from an overdose thanks to Narcan immediately want to use again.
Because they feel really, really sick. It's like the worst flu you could ever imagine.
Narcan triggers the body to instantly go into withdrawals.
It can take about 2 to 3 minutes for you to see somebody fully wake up. And that can be the longest 2 to 3 minutes of your life.
You got fluids coming out of every part of your body. I've had it to where I can smell the heroin coming out of my body.
It is a life-saving shock, but hardly a return to normal.
Sick and ill, potentially vomiting, sweating, shaking. They're in such uncomfortable withdrawal, and they know the way to make those withdrawal symptoms go away is to use more. And that's really indicative of the cycle of addiction. With opiates especially, people continue to use even after they don't want to anymore because it's so uncomfortable to stop.
Narcan is the brand name that most people know, but naloxone is the generic name of this medication. It was patented in the early 1960s to do what it still does today. In 1971, the FDA approved the medication to treat opiate overdoses by injection. That form of naloxone is still available, but now there's also a nasal spray. Here's how the drug works. These pink circles represent opioids. They bind to receptors in the brain.
One of the impacts an opioid will have on that is it can reduce pain.
Naloxone competes for the same space on those receptors.
If somebody has taken an opioid, naloxone will essentially bump that opioid off of the receptor site in the central nervous system and then sort of lock onto that receptor site for a certain amount of time.
Naloxone lasts in the body for roughly 30 to 90 minutes. And if someone tries to get high in that time,
if they try to use it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work until it wears off.
Timing is key for a lot of reasons when it comes to Narcan. Once it wears off,
if there is a significant amount of opiates still in their system, that overdose can occur again even after Narcan has been administered.
So it's possible, depending on what the individual took, that they could experience respiratory depression again after that 30 to 90 minutes.
Respiratory depression, a lack of breathing, that's what kills people. And that's why even if giving a person Narcan, you need to call 911. Signs of an overdose to watch out for?
They're not going to be responsive. Some have shallow breathing.
A very loud, it's described as kind of a snoring respirations, and that's really indicating that the respiratory center in the brain is shutting down.
They can have their eyes open, they can be standing up, they can be sitting down.
You may see some changes in color, but that's usually quite a ways into, the event.
On their lips, they start turning blue. their eyes start turning a different color.
It doesn't take long, unfortunately.
3 to 5 minutes. That's how long you have to save someone with Narcan before it's too late.
The nasal spray is as simple as putting the tip into the nasal cavity and pushing a button,
Which will release the whole dose. After you do that, you want to roll the person onto their side into what's considered a rescue position.
Each bottle of the spray contains 1 dose of Narcan. Each of these boxes has 2 bottles inside. But Hector has seen fentanyl require much more.
I've heard of people having to use up to 9 Narcan sometimes because that drug is so powerful.
Narcan does come with a history of debate about whether it enables drug use.
There is absolutely no research indicating making Narcan more accessible increases people using it. That is a myth.
Drug overdose deaths among teenagers have been increasing. 1,146 fatal overdoses in 2021. 884 overdose deaths that year were tied to fentanyl.
Having Narcan on hand to save a life of a teenager that's experimenting with drugs, I don't know how you argue with that.
In order for somebody to be in treatment or to access treatment recovery support services, they need to be alive.
You don't have to die. Even if you're using, you don't have to die.
And you can get Narcan for free. UT Health runs the federally funded program that ships out doses to anyone who wants them. Just go to morenarcanplease.com to sign up for that. We also have a KSAT Explains focused on fentanyl, what it is and why that drug is so different. You can find it by scanning this QR code along with all of our KSAT Explains coverage. We'll be right back.